Mabuhay, this is Bob from Love Beyond the Sea. I want to talk today about disillusionment in a foreigner Filipina relationship. Disillusionment. Please subscribe here to Love Beyond the Sea. I've been married to my wife in the Philippines for almost 8 years now, and we got married in only 54 days. So we've been married almost the entire time we've known each other, certainly from the time we met in person. And we were 9,800 miles apart when it started. So I will tell you what my thoughts were going into this, because it is a big move to marry somebody from another country. Please subscribe and get notifications on YouTube and click the word add to complete the process. Disillusionment. Well, how do you imagine a relationship with a Filipina is going to go? That's a woman from the Philippines, English speaking, and a lot of foreigners have found wives over there. And, well, you know, you always have some kind of expectations going into it. Myself, well, I was new. I didn't really know anybody that did videos. You know, Life Beyond the Sea, Rike was there at the time. He was the big one, and some others, you know, Bud Brown. But at the time, I didn't start watching those channels until after probably we got married, and I got back to the States and was working on the visa process, spousal visa. So then I started learning a lot more. But before, I just wanted somebody to get married. I'd been alone for a very, very long time. Guinness Book of World Records, I think. And I just wanted somebody, you know, to live together in marriage, have responsibility, you know, have intimacy, have companionship, and that's it. I mean, I didn't have a long list. I knew what I liked, you know, looking at, and I wanted somebody, you know, who I thought had character and was willing to marry. That was a big thing. Willing to marry, willing to relocate, and that's what my wife did, and we got married very quickly. So maybe it's good if you don't have a lot of, you know, preconceived notions about marrying over there. For example, take this one. Does she really want or prefer an older foreigner? There are older guys that have gone out there and found out that, you know, it's not always the older Westerner that the younger Filipina wants. Even on dating site, Christian Filipino, when I got married back in 2015, I came across, you know, a decent number of women who were, let's say, 23, 24, 25. And I noticed they wanted guys who were 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. So just, you know, give or take just a couple of years. And that's not uncommon. So just keep in mind, it's not an automatic that because you're older, she's going to, you know, she's going to jump for that opportunity. And her disillusionment is that if you're from the West, you're wealthy. Maybe you have a lot of time on your hands, but we know that that's not usually the case. And it can be hard for them to understand how expensive it is to live in the West. But, you know, an older man may not be her first option. What about how hard it is to get to her? You may find somebody you want to go see and then find out after talking to the travel agent or doing your own plans that you'll have to feel like Indiana Jones just to get to see her. And you start thinking about what could go wrong before you even meet her. You know, not all of the women are in big cities, you know, like Manila or Davao City, where I met my wife. Just getting around to meet her can be tough. What about, do you expect her to not talk back to you? You know, there's this notion that Filipinas are docile and submissive and would never talk back. They don't like conflict, after all. You know, so we've heard, and they generally don't. But, you know, I'm sure your Filipino wife will talk back to you if you do something she doesn't like. I think that's just normal, you know, even if you've heard differently. What about, you know, you're married and you find out, you know, she sometimes says no to sex, or maybe no to sex more than you want. Well, you may have read somewhere that, you know, they're easy to get, and, well, a sexual relationship is very complicated, and it can be even unfair to a younger woman, depending on how much older her husband is. But no, it's not like they have to have it every day. What about, do you think her family isn't going to ask for money? Maybe you found one that you thought, they just don't do it. Well, they're not going to ask you for money, but they will ask her for money. And no matter how much you insist on her having certain limits and saying no, they might put a lot of pressure on her, make her feel guilty. She may feel guilty anyway, because her parents, for example, they need to be taken care of. They need to be honored. But then there are siblings, and the siblings have, children, aunts and uncles and so on. And, having a Westerner husband probably puts a target on her back for the family. You just have to hope that, she has a good head on her shoulders and doesn't give in to everything and go broke and stuff like that. So you have to talk about the money thing. But I think generally it's going to be an issue. What about, do you think she just, let's say if you're looking for a younger woman than you are, do you think she just wants to stay home all the time? If you're an older Westerner and, you go to the Philippines to retire, sure, there's some places you want to see. But for the most part, you'll probably be staying home, and she may envision a much different life when she's married to a foreigner. If you're living in the Philippines, she's going to want to probably see other places that she's never seen all her life. And if she's living in Canada, Australia, United States, anywhere else, she's probably going to see what's out there. You've probably seen it all, but she hasn't. So, you might be disillusioned of her lifestyle that she sees herself having after marriage. So that's another thing. Also, do you think she's okay if you don't give her a baby? Do you think that's something that she'll just understand, that you're older, maybe you already had your children, and maybe you're unable to have children, but do you think that she will be okay with that? I think it's unlikely that she's going to be okay with it. I think there's foregone conclusion she's not going to want that, and she will try to change her mind. But that's just a toughie right there. I mean, money and baby. Most of us are more willing to give money than to become a parent. So if she doesn't have children, she's going to want them. Mark it down. What about strong-willed? What if she's strong-willed? A certain percentage of all women and people are strong-willed. It certainly might be your Filipina. So, there is no set template for her personality. They come in all kinds. What about how she reacts to your temper? Is she going to ignore it like a lot of people do here in the West? Probably not. You'll probably get some lectures on that. That's probably a good idea also. Now, another thing people, I gather, have disillusionment over is communication. Because let's say they're looking for somebody with pretty good English, there still seems to be times when they're just not connecting, and he's not feeling like he's being understood. Or maybe she's just saying that she understands him when she doesn't, which is why things get repeated or continually misunderstood. She just might not be comfortable saying, will you repeat that, please? I don't understand. And sometimes there's just some reason, a lack of understanding. I don't know if it's from living thousands of miles apart, but that is something that happens once in a while, and probably going to happen a lot if you're only relying mainly on texting, which is why I always recommend getting together on camera. That's better. You could be disillusioned that she wants to be with you so much. Maybe that's not exactly what you want. But whatever these disillusionments are, try to learn here from my videos. You can watch others and just try to get a general feel for what you're getting into. Nothing is automatic if you're looking to find love beyond the sea.